मेरे साथी श्रीमती मीनाक्षी लेखी जी, श्री संजीव चौरसिया जी, श्री प्रशांत शर्मा जी और आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग के साथ जुड़े हुए भाइयों और बहनों, आज मेरा सौभाग्य है कि इस कार्यक्रम में मुझे आने का अवसर मिला और कुछ बातें आपके सामने रखने का भी मौका मिला। अब जैसे कि आप जानते हैं, मीनाक्षी जी और मैं, हम लोग विदेश नीति की दुनिया से हैं आजकल, और अगर मुझे किसी को विदेश नीति और दुनिया के बारे में समझाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, वो आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग के लोग हैं। तो मैं कुछ भाषण देने नहीं आया, मैं आपको कुछ ऐसा कुछ बतलाने नहीं आया जो आप नहीं जानते, परंतु मैं आपके सामने, क्योंकि आप जैसे कि आप सब लोग जानते हैं कि मोदी सरकार की 9 साल हो चुके हैं, और इस समय जो है, जब कोई भी सालगिरह मनाते हैं, कोई भी ऐसा मौका आता है, तो एक किस्म से ये असेसमेंट या रिफ्लेक्शन का समय भी होता है, आगे देखने, कुछ प्लानिंग, उसका भी समय है। तो मैं पिछले 9 साल में ऐसे मेरे मन में 3 ऐसे अनुभव हैं जो मैं कहूँगा 3 C's, और जो उसके बारे में आपको मैं थोड़ा कुछ बताना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि आप लोग भी उसी के साथ जुड़े हुए हैं। और ये 3 C's हैं: कल्चर, कोविड और कॉन्फ्लिक्ट। और अगर आप सोचें, ये तीनों में आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग का बहुत बड़ा योगदान हुआ है। हो सकता है कि आप लोग भी खुद नहीं जानते कि आपका प्रभाव दुनिया पे कितना ज़्यादा है। तो मैं शुरू करता हूँ कल्चर के साथ। जैसे कि मीनाक्षी जी ने कहा कि 2014 का चुनाव, उसका जो रिजल्ट जो था, वो एक किस्म से सचमुच इट वॉज अ ब्रेक विद द पास्ट। It was a break with the past because you had not only a different government, a different vichardhara, but a government with a majority which could actually deliver on the ground and carry out its policies and not have to be constrained कि जो coalition की जो अपनी मजबूरी होती है, that was no longer a constraint on the government. And the result of that, there have been many results. और उन्होंने बात की, आप लोगों ने भी सुना कि देश में कितना परिवर्तन आया है, how economy has changed, how infrastructure has changed, how governance has changed. But I want you to reflect for a moment how much culture has changed. Culture has changed not only in the country. Culture has changed about what India means to the world. एंड इसमें मेरा सौभाग्य था कि अगर मैं कहूँ, इसकी ग्लोबल स्टेज पे कहीं शुरुआत थी। मैं आप लोगों को याद दिलाना चाहता हूँ 2014 की जो प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी को जो अमेरिकन विजिट जो थी, कहानी एक किस्म से वहाँ से शुरू हुई। कल्चरल कहानी इंटरनेशनल स्टेज में परिवर्तन वाला। और उस समय पहली बार हम सब लोग बैठे हुए थे न्यूयॉर्क, और पीएम ने बात उठाई कि सर देखिए, पूरी दुनिया में लोग योग मनाते हैं, इसकी प्रैक्टिस होती है, और इसकी समझ लोगों में अलग अलग होती है। कुछ लोग समझते हैं कि ये एक्सरसाइज है, कुछ लोग सोचते हैं अच्छा ये वेलनेस है, किसी को लगता है ये स्पिरिचुअल है, और इसकी एक लोएस्ट कॉमन डिनोमिनेटर होती है। इसको अगर हम, इसका एक ग्लोबल सेलिब्रेशन अगर आप कहें, आप इसका असर सोचें। And to be very frank, when he first said it, I still remember the room. I would say, I don't think any of us got it. I'll be very honest. For us, it looked, acha, he has come to power, he has this idea. And then we took up this idea. We asked people in the UN. We got a unanimous resolution passed through the UN. And the first International Day of Yoga was celebrated in 2015. So I now fast forward. to upcoming June 21. Today, अगर आप इंटरनेशनल डे की बात करें, एक्चुअली वी लुक एट लास्ट ईयर, we had starting with the easternmost country, easternmost mane where sun rises first, and you followed the sun, and there was a mass celebration of yoga as the sun went round for that 24 hours. And it has created such a phenomenal bonding in the world, such a coming together on something, and a recognition, I would say almost a celebration of India in the world using that. Now, I can give you another example, but then I have to now come to my second C. But let me still stay with the first C, because I will give you a wellness example, but the first C, culture. One of our big challenges, we have a challenge from the era of colonialism, but there is also a challenge from the times of globalization. And the challenge is, जब लोग कहते हैं कि ग्लोबल कल्चर है, ग्लोबलाइजेशन है, आप ये नहीं समझिए कि दिस इज अ इक्वल कन्वर्सेशन विच इज गोइंग ऑन. उनका मकसद है बाय ग्लोबलाइजेशन, ग्लोबल कल्चर, I will decide what is right, I will decide what is wrong. I have a certain way of life. I will say they have a way of living. And the expectation is rest of us have to conform to that way of living. So, globalization माने ऊपर लगता है कि there is a commonality, a equality, a kind of a buy-in by everybody. But when you actually look at it, it is actually a different form of dominance for people who, especially for countries, societies who had got over the colonial form of dominance. Today, a different kind of cultural, I would say, hegemony, cultural dominance was sought to be expressed. So, what is today a big challenge for us? That challenge is, over the last, I would say, okay, 75 years, let us take. Over 75 years, ये इकोनॉमिक रीबैलेंसिंग हो चुका या हो रहा है कि भारत जैसा देश जो है, वी आर टुडे नंबर 5 इकोनॉमिकली in nominal terms, PPP terms higher. So, G7 has become G20. Today, people do not doubt our future economically, especially after the last 9 years. It has also happened politically, that if you look in different places, we take a stand, we do things. Look, mante, we may not become UN, have not become UN Security Council member, but people accept, okay, ek din to hoga hi hoga. It's a question of time. The task, the big challenge today is cultural rebalancing. That how do we get different cultures to treat each other more equally? How do we accept that दुनिया की एक natural diversity है? That diversity must be respected. That if I have, I mean, it is not just one event. If I have beliefs, I have practices, I have traditions, they must also be recognized and respected. And this is today a big issue. And in different ways today, when we engage the world, this is actually a change which the Modi Sarkar has brought about or is bringing about in the last 9 years, and it can only go forward if people like all of you join this, really make it in a way not a governmental activity but a societal cause, a national cause, I would say in some ways a civilizational cause. Let me come to the second C, COVID. Now, during that period, I was 2020, it was very clear in January 2020 कि एक बहुत बड़ी संकट आई है. प्रधानमंत्री ने सोचा कि we have to make a group of ministers because it is too big, it is too serious, it has too many complexities for it to be treated like a department. It was very early decision he took. तो उन्होंने एक ग्रुप बनाई थी, हम 5 लोग थे, 5 मंत्री थे. I was happened to be one of them because there was an external element also of it. Now, मुझे अभी भी याद है the first G20 meeting which took place on COVID. ये एंड जनवरी में होगा, हो सकता है अर्ली फरवरी में हो। तो अब ये G20 के नेता वर्चुअल मीटिंग हो रही है, प्रधानमंत्री जी भी शामिल हैं, मैं इनके पीछे बैठा हूँ। And what we heard was people saying this epidemic is coming, it is very big, very serious, all of which was true. And then the briefer started to express which countries will not be able to face up to it. And their view was India was right up there. That if there was one country, because उन्होंने कहा very frankly कि India has big population, very poor health system, delivery की बहुत बड़ी problem है, you know, how will you, the social consequences of it, economic. I still remember that meeting and I still remember Prime Minister's reaction, because I have seen sometimes you watch him, he will say nothing but something, there will be some body posture change, कहने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है उसके बाद, you know, everybody in the room gets that message. And why I say this was, when we then I want you to go, just because people, you know, see, bad experiences, it is human nature. हम भूल भी जाते हैं, हम भूलना भी चाहते हैं. That period, अगर 2020, 21, 22, which would be for every one of us, would have been the toughest time of our life. So human nature is, भाई अब हो गया, आगे बढ़ते हैं. It is important we remember it. It is important we remember it because there are some very big lessons out of that. One is a lesson of determination, of leadership, of a government and a prime minister who says no, we have the ability to come through, हमें जो करना है हम करेंगे, मुझे विश्वास है, we have this ability to find our own solution. And a nation which everybody thought would go under, by the middle of 2020 or second half of 2020, शुरू में हम लोग दुनिया भर हमारी खोज थी कि कहीं पीपी लाएं, कहीं मास्क लाएं, वेंटिलेटर का बहुत लोगों ने नाम ही नहीं सुना था उस टाइम. So from searching from all of this within a matter of months, so this is the pre-vaccine story, उसको नहीं भूलना चाहिए. The fact that we were able to create centers, but that is all this, you know. I came here to tell you something else. All this would not have been possible if the country, the society, the civil society, the organizations did not rise to the occasion. And there I would say what I saw from Art of Living, all the people associated with it, the organization, that then we had this again very big crisis, the oxygen crisis. You know, what was done during oxygen, how we responded to that. So we have been through these Agni Parikshas and we have come through it. And we have come through it because actually today there is this belief in leadership, vision, and there is delivery, but there is the strength of collective India. And you are all part of that collective India. And I think what all of you did and what many of your associates and friends did during that period is something you should all be proud of. Now my third C, conflict. And आजकल बड़ा conflict आप जानते हैं, that is Ukraine. Okay, conflict is still unfortunately, sadly going on. Now, one of the, I would say, distinguishing features of Art of Living has been that there has been an effort to try to address conflicts all over the world. Ukraine was not the first one, will not be the last one. मुझे पहले बार, मुझे अभी भी याद है, गुरुदेव जी का फोन आया था कोलंबिया पे. He was at that time involved in trying to find some mediation, some solution. Now again, if you look at what happened, yes, today Operation Ganga, people feel, we moved heaven and earth. There were 90 flights, 5 ministers went out. We did a lot of things. We got everybody except one unfortunate boy who got killed. All our students out. But to me, and this is not just sitting here, the volunteers who went, the soup kitchens which were done, you know, I have some history of working in that place, in that East Europe, Soviet space. And it so happened that time all the foreign ministers happened to be people I knew well, some were very good friends. So once the operation started, सबको phone किया, then PM called up everybody. And I must say they went out of their way. You know, countries, in fact, even opened airports for us which were not open to international traffic. I mean, they set up things for us which were not just extra mile, it was extra many miles. But I then heard the other side, which we do not always talk about. They were very moved by the commitment of the volunteers. They saw soup kitchens, they saw rest houses where people did not say we are Indians and this is for Indians. They did it for whoever came. And I cannot tell you what an impact that had. See, they also felt, yes, we did a lot of things for India, but they felt Indians also came and did a lot of things to help everybody in that period. And there again, I must say, you know, what Art of Living volunteers did. And I do not readily remember the name. Particularly, there were a group of people inside Ukraine. Inside Ukraine, who were, some were Ukrainians, there were some Poles. The kind of information they gave us, the kind of practical help, some of them even took risks. वो गाड़ी माने उन्होंने students को गाड़ी में बिठाया, ले गए, went through queues. So the power today of, you know, we speak about mobilizing people, of doing things. This collective force, this collective energy, this is really what will take us forward in Amrit Kaal. That when we speak about the country moving, yes, the government will give leadership, and I think what Prime Minister has done in 9 years has inspired everybody. But that has to be matched by what the society also feels like contributing, the time people give, the resources they give, the networking which they produce. That I feel, when I look back at these 3 years, these 3 big challenges that we've had, how to project, how to get India's identity on the international stage, how do you get respect abroad, you know. Secondly, how do we actually overcome problems like COVID? Because problems like this will come. I mean, it may not come as COVID, other forms of challenges will come. And how do we deal with conflict? How do we, conflict will have many angles. One part of it is also to go there and help to deal with the conflict, but one also to deal with the consequences of the conflict. So today, in many ways, I have come, I thought it was a wonderful opportunity for me to actually share with you, as someone who's had the privilege of working with Art of Living for so long. And again, I would say this, most of the time, actually something would happen and either I would get a message from Gurudev, or sometimes he himself would take the trouble to call and say, I saw this, I heard this, can our people do something out here? This is a strength, enormous strength that we have. And I want to tell you that this, we speak about the change in government, rightly so. We speak about how much progress we have made. But I think 9 years of Modi Sarkar, we should also speak about the change in people. That what we have done to ourselves in these 9 years, how much more motivated this country is, how much more collective this country is, and in many ways, how much more, I would say, committed we are to taking our country forward. Again, once again, I thank you. You've all taken out this time. It's been a pleasure.
माननीय मंत्री जी, आपके उद्बोधन से बहुत से विषय हमारे संज्ञान में आए हम लोगों के, और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का आगे का विजन और रोड मैप, उसके बारे में भी काफ़ी कुछ हमें जानकारियाँ मिली। अभी मैं आमंत्रित कर, हम लोग ने आपके समय की प्रतिबद्धता को देखते हुए जो भी हम लोग के लोगों के प्रश्न थे उसका संकलन एक जगह पे एकत्रित कर लिया है। मैं भी संदीप वासवानी जी को आमंत्रित करूंगा, माइक उनको जो भी है वो पूछें, और कुछ प्रश्न हमारे आदेश जी के भी हैं तो उसके बाद हम बोलेंगे।
Thank you so much, Honorable Ministers, for your time. And one of the things that I would like to share that, I travel to many countries being a management consultant, and the change we have seen in people's image of India and the way we walk through as Indian citizens, it has been really transformative. And it has been we feel really proud to walk through countries and meeting CEOs. We have collected some of the suggestions from across the community. I would just like to read that out for you. In fact, getting inspired from Dr. Jaishankar, we also classified it into 3 C's.
Thank you.
I think the first one is communication. I think people from the ground, since there are so many good initiatives happening, there are wonderful programs and achievements. I think that there needs to be more awareness on the ground with respect to these initiatives. There needs to be more activity and connectivity at the ground level. So it might require a lot of door-to-door communication is what we feel, so that we are able to communicate these initiatives better. And all that also through in a very enthusiastic and friendly manner. Second C is coordination. I think as we are approaching the national elections, the focus can be more on national issues rather than being on local issues. Keeping that focus will be the key, and also better coordination and unity between the party and the associate organizations will really help drive the communication forward. Also, the cadre on the ground needs to be more aligned to the expectations of the public, is what we feel. The third is with respect to convincing on the ground. A lot of people are favorable and positive about the way we are going ahead. However, they need to be motivated to go out and vote. And we need some mechanism to do that. So, for example, we were part of various initiatives that we launched in 2014 and 19, where we did thousands of happiness surveys across the country, where we went and asked people that what makes you happy, and basically we wanted to connect them to the larger cause of the nation. And in 2019 we launched the Vote for Better India campaign. We want to know from you that how better can we go ahead and create awareness, and what role do you see for all of us in creating that better connectivity?
Let me give you a brief response here. One, communication, 100% I agree with, because again I say this as someone मुझे सरकार के साथ 46 साल not a shock to it. And नहीं ताली बजाने की कारण नहीं है. The main point I am saying is I have seen governments who did very little and who made a big sort of, I would say, halla about it. Okay. Today, when I look, every month, हर कैबिनेट मीटिंग में ऐसा कुछ बड़ा निर्णय लिया जाता है. Every month there is some new initiative. आप देखिए, almost on a daily basis, Prime Minister is opening this, यहाँ metro, वहाँ road, वहाँ बंदरगाह, वहाँ waterway, वहाँ airport. So what is happening actually is the substance is more, and the communication is not keeping pace with the substance. Usually it's the opposite. कि हम कैसे इसको बढ़ा चढ़ा के how do we make more. यहाँ if we can even get 80% of what we have done itself would be very very. So I agree with you. I think we need to think that. जो coordination का जो है I would say yes, it's a legitimate organizational issue. How do we all work together in a supportive way? But जो convincing की जो बात करते हैं, so we must also remember one thing. At the next election, you will have a third time first voter. But there will be 14 there will be first voters, 19 there will be first voters, 24 there will be first voters. So, something to think about. Secondly, there will be people who would be voting who are 10 years old when BJP first came to power, this time around. So, for them, it's not necessarily a memory, some of us who are a little more, I would say, experienced. We have, we've seen many governments, we have seen many things. We have वो तुलना हम लोग कर सकते. It's not automatic and natural for them to. So it will mean a very much more, I would say, achievement, credibility, aspiration, mix, which will come. But I think these are very legitimate points to raise, and I certainly have taken them.
हमारे बीच आदेश जी हैं जो ग्लोबल एचआर हेड हैं टाटा कम्युनिकेशंस के. मैं उनसे आखिरी प्रश्न मैं चाहूँगा वो भी पूछें. मीनाक्षी.
Yes, sure.
हाँ.
So, basically, I think building on the point that Dr. Jaishankar talked about, that the stature of India has really increased in the last few years at global level. And, the problem I'm going to raise is perhaps an elitist problem, but nevertheless, since we have both of you here, there are a lot of people travel a lot for conducting different types of activities around the world. And like Sandeep shared, we all feel that the respect that we get just as Indians, no matter what we do, is certainly different. But everybody faces too many issues related to visa. So as you're building the story, do you see at a point where we'll come to a similar situation, which is like a Singapore passport that Indian passport will have? And I think the more specific problem is that, under the inspiration of Gurudev, the Arvind Foundation is organizing its 4th World Culture Festival in DC. And as you know, the US visas are still a problem, and so many people want to go from here. So that's a secondary problem, but
I assume you have your American visa. So, look, it's not an elitist problem. I'll tell you why. Actually, there is a need today to increase mobility, because mobility is key to employment, and employment is not elitist. If you look at our numbers here, rough numbers, there are about 18 million Indians who are working abroad or living or working abroad. There are about 17-18 million Indians roughly who are of people of Indian origin. So actually today we look at it as a very central to something Prime Minister keeps talking about, a global workplace. That India today, with its talent and its skills, we need to look all over the world, and the nature, the direction the world is moved, will actually create a workplace. I mean, you look at the demographics, where there is demand, the demographics of work. So there is a demand-supply issue. My sense is, it's certainly a priority. First thing I want to say, the government, it is a priority for us. And it is priority for us in the biggest, broadest sense, that we want to increase mobility for India. Ease of, जैसे वो कहते हैं, ease of doing business, ease of living, ease of mobility. Ease of mobility, and there are many other angles how to increase mobility. But it takes time, and it will have challenges. We'll have to reach, and we'll also have to improve our governance, because somebody does fraud somewhere, उसका असर होता, बुरा असर होता, so you advance somewhere, किसी ने कुछ कर दिया, तो then some, there is a pushback from that place. But we are increasingly today working on this very problem. I hope one day we get to the goal which you have defined. But certainly I would say it is an effort which we are very, very committed to.
Thank you very much, Dr.